Aaron, what does Alexander Isak mean to this Liverpool team? What's going to happen?
I think Isak coming in firstly gives you a focal point. Think of all the chances that Darwin Nunez misses.
Hmm.
Yeah, Isak doesn't miss them. Yeah, we're talking about someone that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. Pretty much, if he has a 75%, we're not talking like a tap in from 1 to 2 yards. He's not going to miss them.
Yeah.
But we're talking about goal creation. He creates a lot of his own goals. Yeah, he's going to take the pressure off Salah. Salah doesn't have to be the main man every single game now. He can share the load. And ultimately, Salah might benefit from it as well. He might not get run ragged. I think once you've got technicians all over the pitch, Sam, you might start seeing Salah be able to just, be in the game as and when he needs to be, a little bit more so.
Yeah.
I think it suits Salah down to the ground. I think Salah, you'll still see really, really good numbers from Salah. But I think the pressure will be taken off a little bit more so. But I can see us thumping, when we play low blocks next season, I can see us thumping teams. Once the first goal goes in against a low block, they have to start pushing forward. I can see 4, 5s and 6s next season. And that is, I don't want to be disrespectful to the remainder of the teams in the league, but I can see the lower teams getting punished severely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Isak, the level of gravity that he would have in this team is going to free up the likes of, Salah, Verts for sure, Ekitike, even a guy like Gakpo, if he's in on that left wing, there's going to be too much to cover. There's too much to cover for a defense. And I do think with Liverpool being, the reigning champions of the Premier League, teams were already going to do that. Their only option is to try to pack it in and try to just get, a lucky goal on the counter. But when you've got the likes of Alexander Isak, who we've seen this against Liverpool, that dude can score from anywhere, against anyone, against any center back keeper combo. What does this mean, Aaron, for maybe some of Liverpool's other attacking options? Do you see Isak maybe pushing others out of this team, maybe the likes of Díaz, Nunez? I mean, I would assume those guys are gone if Isak comes in.
Yeah, if you watch what's going on at the moment on YouTube, you're seeing a lot of chatter hearing about Nunez to Saudi at the moment. I think because ultimately what we want for Nunez, you're not going to get from another European team. So ultimately he's going to have to go to, somewhere in Saudi where they're quite happy to bring in a young, quality forward. And Nunez in pre-season has looked on fire.
Yeah.
With the shaved head. He looks like he's got the bit between his teeth and maybe trying to earn that move away. And I hope he rebuilds his career because I love Nunez and I'm a bit sad that, it hasn't really worked out for him.
Yeah.
Díaz, he's been a good servant. I don't think he's been, amazing, but I think he's been a really good left winger. I would have liked to seen Díaz maybe pop up with a few more assists, a few more goals and stuff like that. But ultimately, he's been a great player. And I think at 28, for me, that's the right time. We should be looking at maybe shifting some of these players on and bringing in fresh talent.
Aaron, with all of these new additions to a team, you have to wonder, is there going to be kind of a gap at the beginning of the season, a gap of these guys all getting used to each other? Do you see that happening, or do you think it clicks right away?
No, I think you're right. I think what you'll do is maybe play the familiar players at first. Maybe start, two of the new boys at the very, very start of the season and try and have a little bit of continuity from last season. And maybe slowly start to integrate the likes of an Ekitike. If we bring Isak in, Isak is Premier League proven. Yeah. So Isak comes straight in for me. You put him down the centre of the pitch. And your front three probably looks like Gakpo, Isak and Salah first game. And your midfield probably looks like Wirtz, McAllister and Gravenberch. And I think Wirtz may not do the full 90. I think they'll try and manage him, integrate him into the season a little bit more so. And then Ekitike probably maybe be a direct replacement at first for Isak.
Yep.
And I think, Slot is he's a tactician, he's a technician. I think he's going to manage this team really well. And I think ultimately what he'll do is he will get his best players into a first 11.
Yeah.
And you know how he loves his first 11. And I think he can start looking at 6 or 7 first teamers sitting on his bench as well. So hopefully he
Yeah.
has that little bit more trust on his bench players.
Well, and hopefully we're not, in the middle of this season, we're not saying, oh man, this team just is the same as last season, where we concede first, we're always playing from behind, we always have to score 2 or 3 goals late in the second half. Hopefully, this team clicks enough to stay 1 to 2 to 3 goals ahead, to where Arne Slot is using at least 4 of his substitutions, probably all 5 every game, right? Like, hey, we're up by 3. Let's rotate. Let's keep guys fresh and get them game time and playing time. Do you have any concerns, Aaron, retaining the Premier League title if this team is happening?
Listen, I think it's still going to be tight. We might only win it by 12, 13 next season.
That's worrying. That's scary.
Yeah, because Arsenal, I mean, they pushed us all the way last season.
Went down to the final 2 months of the season.
Right down to so. I mean, to only win it by April, I thought was actually poor from Liverpool. I think Liverpool probably could have tried to, maybe seen if they could have squeezed in the title around about March, something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's why you're seeing such a high level of spending this summer, because of those concerns.
Well, we struggled last season. But listen, I'll give an honest answer. I do think City will be better. I do think Arsenal will be better. Arsenal on paper, they can put a very strong 11 out. Yeah, a very, very strong 11 out. But I mean, I'm not blown away by the likes of Christian Norgard and Kepa and some of the players that they have brought in. But Gyökeres will give them a new dimension, and they will have a bagsman.
Yeah.
But you've got to get the ball to him, and if they haven't got that link player, that number 10 that actually creates, because Odegaard doesn't really create a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
They rely heavily on Saka, and we're trying to take away that little bit of reliance on Salah and say, actually, let's have 4 players feed into the bagsman. Do you know what I mean? If we bring in a number 9. And we have 4 players feeding him, I can only see someone like Isak running away with. I mean, him and Haaland will be sweeping up next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic points, Aaron. Let me know what you think in the comments, y'all. This is just absolutely insane. Super exciting. As always, up the Reg.